Rain shimmered over Seoul's Han River as Amara Ude walked beside her best friend Yuri Tanaka toward a glass-fronted hotel restaurant.
Don't worry,
Amara
it's gonna be
looked
fine.
like she was
Let's get
walking
inside.
into an interrogation. Yuri looked like she had just orchestrated a miracle. "You are going in, sitting down, and having one normal conversation with a nice man," Yuri said. "I had a normal conversation yesterday. I thanked a vending machine for my coffee." "That is not dating. That machine has better manners than your ex." Yuri softened but didn't stop walking. "It's been 4 months, Amara. You moved from Lagos to Seoul to start over. You can't start over by hiding in your apartment." "That feels aggressive enough already." "That's called healing. Worst case, you get a free meal." Amara stared through the glass at the restaurant glowing gold inside. "If he mentions crypto, I'm leaving. If he says alpha male, I'm faking a fire alarm." Inside, Dohyun Kang waited near the window with his bodyguard, Taemin standing just behind him. Dohyun was expecting an investor dinner, not chaos walking through the door in a red coat. Unfortunately, chaos had arrived early, and it had a reservation mix-up. Amara walked straight toward Taemin. Tall, serious, exactly matching the description Yuri had given her. "Hi, I'm Amara," she said, smiling. Taemin stood a little straighter. "Taemin." She waited. He said nothing else. "You're quieter than your profile picture," she offered. Taemin's brow creased. "I don't have a profile." From his seat, Dohyun looked between them, slowly piecing together the mistake. Instead of correcting it, he smiled and let it play out. Amara turned to him. "And you are?" "Very entertained, but people usually call me Dohyun." Yuri arrived, saw Taemin, and froze mid-step. Amara didn't even glance her way. "I didn't say anything," Yuri whispered. "Your whole face is a confession." Before anyone could untangle the mix-up, the real investor walked in. He spotted Amara sitting beside Dohyun and beamed. "Mr. Kang, Chairman Kang told me you'd finally settled down. Wonderful, my daughter can stop asking about you at every dinner." Dohyun froze. Amara froze. Yuri's eyes lit up with dangerous delight. Dohyun leaned toward Amara. "Can I ask something unreasonable?" "No, too late." Dinner became a performance nobody had rehearsed. Dohyun introduced Amara as someone very special, vague enough to mean girlfriend, hostage, or accountant. Amara smiled through every question like a woman quietly plotting her exit strategy. After the investor left satisfied, Dohyun apologized and explained. The investor wanted him settled and would keep pushing his daughter at every meeting unless he believed Dohyun already had someone. "So you want me to keep pretending?" Amara asked. "For a month, paid properly in writing." "Absolutely not," Yuri said, appearing at her shoulder. "How much?" "Yuri, I am gathering information for your refusal." Dohyun gestured to Taemin. "This is Taemin, my bodyguard." Yuri immediately crossed her arms in solidarity. "Yuri, her bodyguard." Dohyun laughed. Taemin gave Yuri a respectful nod. "Nice to meet you," Yuri whispered to Amara. "I love him." "You've known him for 11 minutes. A powerful 11 minutes. Dohyun asked what exactly Amara protected against. "Bad decisions," Yuri said. Amara pointed at the table. "You caused today's bad decision." Yuri ignored her. "Double the offer, emotional damage surcharge." Dohyun looked at Yuri like he'd just met a worthy opponent. "Fine, double." Amara closed her eyes. Her fresh start in Seoul had lasted exactly one blind date gone wrong. Then she picked up the pen. "1 month," she said, "and if anyone calls me sweetheart, I add tax." Dohyun grinned. "Deal." The next morning, Amara arrived at Dohyun's penthouse with 1 suitcase, 1 iced coffee, and the expression of someone reconsidering every choice that led here. Yuri trailed behind with 2 overpacked bags and dangerous excitement. "This elevator smells like money," Yuri whispered. The doors opened onto a glass-walled living room floating above the city. Dohyun stood waiting in a black shirt, smiling like a man who treated inconvenience as a sport. "Welcome, guest suites down the hall. Kitchen's open. Please don't rearrange my books by color. You say that like someone already has. Me, rough weekend. Taemin stood near the window, unreadable as ever. Yuri instantly stopped talking. No, Amara said. I didn't say anything, Yuri said. Again, your face is loud. Dohyun placed a folder on the table. Rules. Public hand-holding when cameras are present. No unnecessary lies. We agree on one story and don't improvise. You improvised an entire girlfriend yesterday, Amara said. Emergency creativity, panic and a nice watch. By noon, Amara and Dohyun sat across from each other with notebooks, inventing a relationship from scratch. Yuri supervised from the sofa like an unpaid director. Taemin held a printed schedule and looked like a man who had survived worse assignments. Where did we meet? Dohyun asked. Not the hotel where you committed social fraud. Too specific anyway. Yuri raised her hand. Coffee shop. She insults his order. He falls in love. Believable, Amara said. I insult a lot of orders. Favorite food? Dohyun wrote it down. Mine's spicy jollof. Yours? Anything expensive. That's not a food. That's a personality flaw. Fine, steak. Anniversary. April 3rd, Dohyun said confidently. Taemin finally spoke. Sir, that's your dentist appointment. Yuri nearly fell off the sofa laughing. Dohyun looked personally betrayed. Internal sabotage. Then came hand-holding practice. Dohyun kept trying to win at looking natural. Amara won by looking mildly unimpressed. When he walked too fast, she yanked him back by the wrist. Couples match pace, she said. He rubbed his wrist. You're alarmingly strong. I survived men with opinions. The real disaster arrived with the photographer, lights, assistants, and one tiny dog belonging to the makeup artist. Amara stared at it. Is he part of the contract? No, Dohyun said, but he has more followers than my company account. At first they stood too far apart. The photographer asked for something affectionate. Amara stepped closer. Dohyun smiled too widely. You look like you're selling toothpaste, she muttered. Luxury toothpaste. Still toothpaste, Yuri called from behind the camera. Amara, look at him like he's slightly less annoying than usual. Dohyun, look at her like you know what rent costs. Taemin glanced over. That was oddly specific. I contain multitudes. During one candid shot, Dohyun whispered that the dog had better posture than he did. Amara laughed before she could stop herself. He laughed too. The photographer caught it. On the screen, they didn't look like strangers anymore. They looked almost real. That evening, before their first public dinner, Dohyun held out his hand. Amara hesitated, then took it. Ready? He asked. No, but I charge extra for panic. Worth it. Their first public date was at a rooftop restaurant above Gangnam, the city glittering beneath glass railings. People recognized Dohyun before he even sat down. Amara squeezed his hand once under the table. Camera, 2 o'clock, he murmured. You say that like, I know clock directions under emotional pressure. Right side, near the plants. Thank you, spy boyfriend. He almost laughed. When reporters asked how they met, Amara answered before he could say something dangerous. Coffee shop, she said brightly. He ordered something complicated. I judged him. He kept coming back anyway. Dohyun placed a hand over his heart. Her judgment changed my life. The reporters laughed. Amara hated how good they were at this. She hated more that she was enjoying it. After dinner, they slipped into a quiet street lined with dessert stalls. Dohyun bought her hotteok even though he claimed he wasn't hungry. When it burned his fingers, she took it from him. Have you ever eaten food that didn't arrive under a silver cover? Once, it was emotional. Behind them, Yuri walked beside Taemin, offering him a skewer. Do bodyguards eat street food? Yes, a pause. That was more than 4 words. We're growing, Yuri said. At a quiet coffee shop later, Taemin's phone buzzed. Your grandmother saw the dinner clip. She wants to meet Miss Ude tomorrow. Amara nearly choked. Your grandmother. She's kind, Dohyun said. Also terrifying, also better at detecting lies than most intelligence agencies. Perfect, Amara said. After heartbreak, my new hobby is deceiving grandmothers. The Kang family estate looked like a place where even the plants had private tutors. Grandmother Kang met them at the door, elegant, tiny, and immediately terrifying because she looked delighted. Amara, she said, taking both her hands. At last. Lunch was beautiful and dangerous. Dohyun's father asked careful questions. His mother watched closely. Grandmother asked what Amara liked about her grandson. He's ridiculous, Amara said. But he listens, that part surprised me. The table went quiet. Dohyun's tapping fingers stopped. Good answer, grandmother said. Across the garden, Yuri followed Taemin to the koi pond, slipped, and he caught her wrist. She stared at his hand like fate had personally intervened. Grandmother insisted they all come to the family's mountain lodge that weekend. Dohyun nearly choked on his tea. Grandmother, Amara is busy. Then she needs rest. Bring Yuri. And Taemin, someone must stop you from pretending you know how to hike. I know how to hike. You own hiking shoes. That is not hiking, that is shopping. The mountain lodge sat between tall pines with glass walls and an unreal view. A cooking competition, a humiliating game night, a fire pit under the stars, and somewhere between the burnt marshmallows and the quiet, Amara caught Dohyun looking at her like she was the whole point of the weekend. So am I still losing? He asked by the fire. At what? Convincing you this fake relationship was a good idea. She looked at the flames, then at him. I haven't decided. His smile turned soft. Good, that means I still have time. Weeks passed. A charity gala. A near kiss on a rooftop, interrupted at the worst possible moment by Yuri bursting through a door insisting she'd witnessed Taemin's smile, twice. An old colleague from Lagos recognizing Amara at a cafe, asking her to dinner, and Dohyun nearly breaking his own rules by introducing himself as boyfriend 3 times in one sentence. You sounded like a golden retriever defending a sandwich, Yuri told him later. I was being mature. You introduced yourself as boyfriend, twice. Accurately. By the last week of the contract, Amara no longer checked for cameras before reaching for his hand. That was the problem. That was always going to be the problem. Because somewhere between the fake anniversary and the real strawberries, with the tops removed just how she liked them, Amara Ude had stopped pretending. And she wasn't sure Dohyun Kang had ever been pretending at all. If you want to know whether Amara tells him the truth first, or whether grandmother Kang beats her to it, that's part 2. Drop a comment telling me who you're rooting for, Amara and Dohyun, or Yuri and Taemin. And if you loved this story, hit subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. We're building something special here.